Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video, and Smash has been out for like a month at this point already, right? But I've had some issues with the game which I wanted to talk about, and I've been worried about posting this video because Smash is such a beloved game, and if you say something bad about it, the community will come after you because on the internet, your opinion is always wrong. That's just the way it is. But here's the thing, this is just my opinion of it. I'm looking at the game from a casual point of view. I like playing competitively sometimes. I don't enter tournaments, which is funny considering that I entered a tournament back in high school, just, you know, a local thing. I hosted a tournament back in my house in high school, but other than that, like, I'm pretty casual. That's honestly about it. So all these opinions are basically coming from the perspective of a casual Smash player. So my first issue with this game is the loading times. The loading times are ridiculously long sometimes. It feels really weird to put in the game, select the game on the menu, and then go to a black screen for maybe 15 seconds or so. That's a really long loading time, especially for a game that's made in 2018 and it's now 2019. It takes a while to go from selecting to black screen to the opening cinematic. That's really weird to me. And it doesn't just pertain to that particular section. Whenever you're finished with a match and you go from the victory screen back to the character select screen, it still goes to a black screen. You see the little icon in the corner and it stays there for a while, and then it takes you back to the character select screen. I don't know why it takes so long. Nintendo, what? I don't get it. Another issue with the loading times is, for some reason, when you're in the character select screen and you select a character, the character doesn't pop up on your little section where it says player 1. It takes like another 10 seconds to load for some reason. I don't even know what to say to that. Like, why is that a thing? I'm hoping that they get to it soon because it just feels weird to select a character and then have to wait for it to do its thing. Why is this a thing? So my next issue with the game is this menu. Honestly, this menu is actually pretty terrible. So let's just take a look at the menu here. We have Smash here, which is kind of not really straightforward. Or maybe it's super straightforward. You want to verse your friends versus smash your friends. That doesn't sound right. If that doesn't seem weird, at least it's very straightforward. I just want to play Smash. You have Smash there. Fine, that makes sense if you're going to leave it at Smash. But then behind where it says Smash, you have another button that says Smash underneath. That'll take you to another menu. Why don't we just have it as versus mode? And then behind that would be Smash. So instead of this here saying Smash, it says versus mode, and then the menu afterwards will say Smash. Very straightforward. And then we have games and more, which is the single player mode. Like, why not highlight that as single player mode? Because you're not going into the games and more section with your friends, really. I guess there's the training mode, which you could do with your friends, but games and more is mainly just single player mode. Even in Brawl, you had group mode and solo, and those were really straightforward. Of group mode is, I'm gonna play Smash with my friends, and solo is, I'm gonna play solo mode. Story mode, classic, subspace, emissary. You could tell what it was that you wanted to play super easily just by looking at it. It's straightforward and clear. Even in Melee, or Melee, however you say it, there was still one player mode, and then versus mode. Very straightforward. Of one player mode, I want to just play classic mode, all-star mode, whereas versus mode is, I'm going to go play with my friends, whether it's special Smash and all those other things. Eventually, after Brawl, the 3DS version and the Wii U version got really weird with Smash Games and More, Smash Run. It just got so overcomplicated. Like, we just need the two main things to just be labeled as one player mode and two player mode. It's as simple as that. Another thing is, I just don't understand how the functions in the menu work. I mean, for example, take a look at this. So I've got my Pro Controller here, and I'm gonna use a D-pad to explain why this menu is very confusing and just weird for me. Like, sometimes I don't use the analog stick because I just like the precision of the D-pad, but it's really weird. You can go from Smash to Spirits mode with a simple up-down button press when you're on the left side. So if I go down, I'll move to Spirits, and if I press up, I'll move over to Smash mode. Simple enough, right? Seems fair. While on the right side of the screen, you can go from Games and More to Online with up and down. That also makes sense. Going from smash to vault is a left-right press, which is a little weird because you think that pressing right would take you to games and more, but it doesn't, but I'll accept that. Then going from smash, pressing up, shouldn't that take you to games and more? But it doesn't. So in order to go from smash to games and more, you have to go right and then up. Yes, I get it. I can use the analog stick, but sometimes I like the precision of having the D-pad there. So to not be able to use one button on the D-pad for some reason is just really weird to me. Next, I'm gonna talk about the Spirit Board. I think it's really cool, and it is a really cool way to earn spirits in your game to help you progress more through the World of Light or train them and have them go on adventures and stuff like that. But something I don't think is cool is actually the fact that after you defeat a spirit on the Spirit Board, you have to play some really weird mini game. So after you get that spirit, you have to free them by shooting them in the face. Okay, so maybe it feels like a way of adding more items to your inventory for like the caves and exploring with the stuff such as the Sluggish Shield and the Shield Spacer. But honestly, to me,
that just sounds like slavery with extra steps.
Then there's the clunkiness of adding new players to a Smash match. It feels really difficult to add or remove a new controller to a match. I mean, if it were up to me, you would just simply have the controller already synced up, hit left, right on the shoulder buttons, and it would add it. Or you could add it simply through pressing the little plus icon on the right side of the character select screen, and that would just add the new player. Then hitting that little minus icon would remove that player if you use that controller. Instead, it removes the last player for some reason. So if there's 5 players and you hit that button with one controller, it's not gonna remove the player who wants to quit. It's going to remove that 5th player and then that 4th player and that 3rd player. Why can't I just use the controller that I want to remove myself? But somehow I accidentally end up removing the last player in the queue. But I mean, if someone can explain that to me, by all means, I'd love to read as to why it works like that, but to me it doesn't make any sense. And then there's the beast in and of itself that is the online mode. So I've been playing with Wi-Fi to start. I know, Wi-Fi, playing Smash, bad idea. But then eventually I did move over to getting an Ethernet adapter and then playing with that. But man, regardless, my games still feel slow, very slow. Sometimes I like to play a little bit more competitively in my matches. I'm not very good. Sometimes I like to play for fun. Other times I like to play for glory. Wait a second. Now we have this really weird matchmaking system that has so many different options that it tries to best pair you up with someone else who has the same rule set of you. Most of the time it does, but some of the time it just doesn't. Well, actually, they fixed that with version 1.2.0, so you're actually wrong. Yes, they patched it so it's better, but that doesn't mean it's fixed. I still occasionally get the random 1v1 with all items on, or 4-player Smash, all items on. They're trying, and I commend them for that, but they still need to fix it. Like I said, there's a lot of options, and more options is cool. It gives more variety as to what people want specifically in their gameplay. But if you have a system that tries to best match people closely to what they want to match against, and you give them more options, then it's going to be very difficult to match up every single match to be as close as possible. So what I'm trying to say is just bring back for fun and for glory. Outside of the online, non-dedicated server matchmaking that we have, I play a lot of Battle Arena with my friends. But something that bothers me with the Battle Arena is that you can't change the arena rules after you've made the arena. If you want to change it from a 1v1 to a free-for-all 4-player, you have to shut down your Battle Arena, go back, make the rules, open it up, send your friend the arena code, send them the password if you have a password, and then you join, and then you have to basically redo everything all over again. You can't just change the rules on a whim. And I think that's a design flaw made by the fact that the regular arenas, the Smash arenas, you set your rules before going into playing the match, as opposed to the way it used to be where you could choose your characters and then just at the top you could select your rules. So I think it's the design language that carried over from regular Smash into online that has affected how the battle arena works, and it's actually pretty detrimental. Like I said, I'm not very much of a competitive player when it comes to Smash, but I play a lot of competitive Overwatch. So I do know a bit about playing competitively, patch notes, and transparency. As of now, in the patch notes, character changes are highlighted in the patch notes, but it doesn't say anything about what specific changes have been made. It just says things like, the following characters have been adjusted: Luigi, Mario, Dr. Mario, Roy. It doesn't help me know and understand what has been changed to their kit. I at least know for me, if I were super competitive, I would love to know what changes are made to see what the meta is, what changes to a character's kit there are, so I can play the best that I can in tournaments. All in all, when it comes to the online stuff, Nintendo just feels outdated. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but maybe they should at least take into account how important online is in this day and age. Especially if you're paying for an online service, the least we could get is dedicated servers that would allow us to have stable gameplay. At the end of the day, these are my issues with Smash from a casual point of view, and I understand it's a game that is constantly being worked on, and I'm hoping and praying for the best that Nintendo gets their act together, especially with how big of a competitive scene Smash is and how big of an impact it is and has been to the gaming community. Those are my thoughts. What do you guys think are the biggest issues in Smash as of right now? Do you think that they're gonna patch some of these things? Do you think that they're just gonna leave it? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.